Eu vou pegar a predição do Imperial College, ou melhor, o estudo do Imperial College da situação do mundo atual, para situar a gente um pouquinho. O Imperial College continua modelando o que está acontecendo por aí, a gente continua sabendo o que se passa pelo mundo por eles. Até agora não tem epidemiologistas questionando os modelos deles.
So you were saying then, so the initial UK response seemed to be similar to what Sweden is doing now, and you thought that was better?
Yeah. No, I think it was very good actually, and we were very pleased with having the same policy as the UK. That gave some credibility to what we were doing. But then Mr. Johnson made his 180-degree turn.
Yeah, so why, there may have been other political factors involved. He was definitely under a lot of pressure because lots of European countries were doing a formal lockdown at that point. But the turning point did seem to be that Imperial College report, which forecast 510,000 deaths in the UK with a completely unmitigated approach, 250,000 deaths with a mitigated approach, which is roughly equivalent to what you're doing in Sweden. And then it suggests that it might be as few as 20,000 if we did a full suppression or lockdown. What was your impression of that paper?
I think it's not very good. And the thing that they miss a little is any models for infectious disease spread are very popular. Many people do them. They're good for teaching. They seldom tell you the truth because I make a small parenthesis. Which model could have assumed that the outbreak would start in northern Italy in Europe? Difficult to model that one. And any such model, it looks complicated. There are strange mathematical formula and integral signs and stuff, but it rests on the assumptions. And the assumptions in that article could be heavily criticized for. I won't go through that. It would take the rest of your day if I went through them all. The paper was never published scientifically. It's not peer-reviewed, which a scientific paper should be. It's just an internal departmental report from Imperial. And it's fascinating. I don't think any other scientific endeavor has made such an impression on the world as that rather debatable paper.
So is your impression that it was overly pessimistic?
Yes. Oh, yes. Very much so.
So what, I guess it comes down to some degree of speculation, but what's your impression of how serious the disease is and what kind of fatalities we would be looking at if we had a more moderate or more mitigated approach?
Yeah. What's the number of deaths in the UK now? I don't know. I haven't.
13,000 and something.
13. So you're getting close to 20 now.
Yeah.
But probably not 510,000. I think, let me back one step. One thing that the model has missed is that it assumes that the hospital capacity will remain the same. And that's not what's happening anywhere. I mean, in Sweden, we've tripled our intensive care capacity, and I think that's happening in the UK as well. But the paper completely overlooks that. It's cites that as a static thing.
Tá. O cálculo para a Inglaterra, que é menor, é de 500 mil de ingleses mortos. Isso foi o que fez o primeiro-ministro inglês parar e desistir da ideia de não fazer nada. Porque se ele não fizesse nada, ele teria 500 mil de mortos entre abril e agosto.
Dr. Ioannidis feels like Neil Ferguson and people who modeled like Neil Ferguson could have made this could just be a big mistake, just a kind of a mathematical disaster, but an honest mistake. Is your feeling that this could all have been an honest mistake?
No.
Ferguson's numbers stood until the Oxford study challenged him. He came out the next day and said, I've reduced my estimate from 500,000 in the UK to 20,000. But this is because of social distancing. He must know better than to say that. No?
I don't know his personality.
Okay.
To know better means you have to question yourself. And some people are not capable of doing that. And that is dangerous.
It just seems so incredibly obviously disingenuous, even to a layperson, to say that, oh, my model has changed, but it's because we were so good in one day, because the social distancing had only happened for one day, and he was saying it's because maybe I can tell we're going to be so good. I mean, and therefore that's why it just doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
It does not make any sense.
What could have inspired Neil Ferguson to make the estimates that he made?
I have no clue, and I don't like to engage in conspiracy theories. So if you have a model that gives results that contradict everything else, then you contact your colleagues. You say, send me your model, let me try it, let me compare what we have. Where are we in agreement? And what is it that makes my model different from yours? This is how science works. We all make mistakes, but we don't present the results without first double-checking with what other people think and what other models say. Because as a scientist, you're human.
Yeah.
We always make mistakes, but we check for it, and we know how to check for it.
And it would seem that this in particular was a moment that required very careful checking and very careful peer review. But the WHO comes up with this 3.4%. And then Ferguson's numbers are, I don't know what the percentage he was thinking of was, but it meant 2 million dead in the United States and 500,000 in the UK.
Okay, Frankenstein came out with things that were totally off the chart. And if your results are totally off the chart, you double check them.
You're talking about Ferguson?
Yeah.
You said Frankenstein, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But this double checking has never happened with these models, because you are not off by several orders of magnitude. You're off by 10, 20, 30%, 50%. But that is more than 2 orders of magnitude. Even the best social distancing cannot change something by 2 orders of magnitude. That would mean you have to put each person in a negative pressure room and isolate them there. Yes, if you do that for all 10 million people in New York, you put them in a negative pressure room, then you can achieve a major difference. Otherwise, you cannot. Everything you can achieve is a gradual change, and we see that now with the data that we get published now in the New York Times. We still have spread of the virus. It may be somewhat less, but it's not enough for 2 orders of magnitude in the results.
Il y a eu deux vecteurs, ou plutôt fondements de la perception erronée. Le premier, on l'a évoqué la dernière fois, ce sont les projections du professeur Ferguson en Angleterre, qui, de nouveau, sont rien moins que délirantes. Mais à chaque épidémie dans le passé qui s'est éteinte très vite, il avait aussi prédit des millions de morts. Son étude n'a jamais été publiée dans la littérature scientifique. Vous savez que par rapport au préprint, on dit beaucoup, oui, mais ça n'a pas été validé par un comité de pairs. Les productions délirantes du professeur Ferguson n'ont jamais fait l'objet de cette validation par les pairs. Donc évidemment, tout le monde est parti en vrille. C'est une apocalypse, alors que tout indiquait déjà à l'époque que ça n'était pas le cas.
Et qui a fait aussi qu'on n'ait pas pu le comparer la maladie à la grippe.
Oui, exactement. Par exemple, en termes d'ordre de grandeur, de nouveau.